Hi everyone. For today we're going to be reviewing this tome, French Warships in the Age of Steam, 1859 to 1914. Design, Construction, Careers and Fates. All written by Stephen Roberts. This is quite the tome. Who needs gyms when you've got these giant hardcover books? You can exercise the mind and your upper body strength, all in one. This book is actually part of a wider series that looks at the evolution of the French Navy, beginning with the Age of Sail and concluding with this volume at the dawn of the First World War in 1914. This particular book that we'll be looking at covers the evolution of the French Navy from the launching of the Loire in 1859 right through to 1914. Basically encompassing the Industrial Revolution, the onset of steel and iron, and longer range guns, indeed even breech-loading guns. It is a text-heavy book with tons of information, and I would say that a book like this is for the naval historian, serious naval enthusiast, because it not only covers this incredibly diverse time span, but it also looks at the various ship types and their individual evolutions. And then beyond that, it also looks at the career of each individual vessel as much as is known. And with all that data, obviously, it's all going to be compressed. Having said that, though, there are chapters on design philosophies, budget problems, ideas about evolving technology, and when you look at all these ships and their evolution, you get to understand a bird's eye view of how the French Navy throughout these decades attempted to address those various challenges. These are new technologies. How do we use them? What does this mean to our strategy, to our imperial stance? And then from a tactical perspective, how do we best use these? How can we best deploy them? What's the best platform? Some of these questions created some very exotic designs, and I know many love the Hoche, also known as the Le Grand Hotel, and I have done a little video about this separately, so by all means check that one out. But it's a fascinating look at how all these challenges were met, basically. I mean, there were some successes and there were some not so successful attempts. The wide variety of ships include the battleships, the armored cruisers, you have your avisos, your sailing frigates. What is also a welcome inclusion are the imperial transports, not imperial, but colonial transports. And it goes all the way down to some of the smallest vessels, including paddle-powered patrol craft on the rivers, and even a steam launch for one of the empresses. So, wide variety of vessels and vessel types and their evolution. As you're seeing up here, this book, despite its attempt at looking at so much within its physical limits, it's still able to provide a beautiful photographic account. Many vessel types, or all vessel types really, are illustrated with one form or another. Obviously, some of the bigger ships, or some of those that had more impact in terms of their career or their design evolution, they have a slight bit more coverage, but still, there are plenty of photos, diagrams, plans of all ship types. They're all represented in one form or another in this book, which is again a welcome change. Normally books tend to cover the bigger, more famous vessels. No, this book has done an admiral attempt at looking at all vessels, including the teeny tiny ones. So it's refreshing to see, and being thick glossy paper, all of these photographs and illustrations are reproduced in excellent quality, so everything is nice and crisp and a feast for the eyes, while the brain mulls over the facts and figures that are deposited within the hundreds of pages of this book. As I said earlier, this book will appeal to the historian and naval enthusiast. So if you are interested in understanding navies in the industrial age and how they evolved, and not just vessel types, but entire fleets, then this book is a goldmine. If you are fascinated by the French Navy and its evolution, this book is for you. If you have the other books about the French sailing navy and want to complete your set, this book is for you. There's plenty of sailing vessels included in here, although they are sailing auxiliaries, not sailing ships of the line. There's plenty here. If you just want to learn about the French Navy up until the First World War and discover some vessels that you had no idea existed, there's plenty here for you to read and understand. So if you're a naval enthusiast, then this book is a 5 out of 5 captain's hats. If, however, you just want a more illustrated picture study or something that's just a summary, there are other books out there. This one is for the serious enthusiast and the historian who craves, yearns, and needs data, not only to learn, but also maybe to reference for their own research as well. So just bear that in mind if you are going to make a purchase. For me, naval historian and enthusiast, all my requests have been ticked by this book. I love it. It's a 5 captain's hat for me. It's an impressive work of research, and for those who want to do research, it'll be invaluable for many years to come. So by all means, check it out. French Warships in the Age of Steam, 1859 to 1914.